Have you ever felt like you're doing everything right, working hard, staying quiet, staying committed, but still being overlooked? Have you ever wondered why those with less skill and less effort seem to move ahead while you're left behind? And what if one day you decided to step back to finally be seen, only to discover that absence doesn't always earn appreciation, but sometimes replacement? Once upon a time, in a bustling factory filled with machines and endless tasks, there was a young man. Fresh-faced and eager to learn, he was taken under the wing of an old technician, someone well-respected and deeply wise. The old man didn't just teach him how to repair machines or operate tools. He passed on a philosophy, a quiet mantra for life. Speak less, work more, become excellent at everything you do. Let your work speak for you. And so, for 10 long years, the young man followed this advice to the letter. He showed up early, stayed late, and mastered every corner of the factory floor. He fixed what was broken, improved what was slow, and stayed silent through it all. Not once did he complain. Not once did he ask for more. But over time, frustration began to fester. He noticed how others, people with less skill, less dedication, were being promoted. They were being recognized, rewarded, celebrated. Meanwhile, he remained exactly where he had started, making the same amount of money as when he was just a trainee. One day, carrying the weight of his disappointment, he went to visit his former mentor. "I've done everything you taught me," he said, his voice heavy with pain. "I've worked hard, stayed quiet, and mastered every skill in this place. Yet I watch others rise while I stand still. Why? Why am I still invisible?" The old man listened silently, then began pacing the room. After a while, he turned and said, "Take a day off. Use any excuse you like. Just one day. It's time you gave yourself a break." The young man was confused by this advice, but the more he thought about it, the more curious he became. The next day, he requested time off and stayed home. When he returned, something unexpected happened. His manager called him into the office and, with a concerned expression, said that chaos had broken out in his absence. Machines failed, tasks piled up. No one knew how to fix the problems he usually solved so effortlessly. Realizing his value, the manager promoted him to senior technician on the spot and thanked him for his years of silent excellence. The young man was thrilled. He thought to himself, "So this is the secret. People only notice your light when it suddenly goes out." From then on, whenever he felt underappreciated, he would take a day off. And each time, upon returning, things seemed to get better. More recognition, more respect, more value placed on his work. But over time, something changed. One morning, he arrived at the factory only to be met by a security guard who wouldn't let him in. Confused, he asked what was going on. The guard checked the roster and simply said, "You're no longer employed here." Stunned and heartbroken, the young man went straight to his mentor seeking answers. "I did exactly what you told me to do. Why did this happen?" he asked with a mixture of sorrow and disbelief. The old man shook his head, eyes filled with sadness. "No," he said softly, "you only learned half the lesson." The young man froze. "Half the lesson? What do you mean?" The mentor looked him straight in the eyes. "You understood the first part, that when a light bulb is always on, people stop noticing it. Only when it goes off do they realize how much they relied on it." "That's true, but you left before I could teach you the second half." The young man leaned in, anxious for the answer he never received. "The second half," the old man said slowly, "is even more important. A light bulb that turns off too often will eventually be replaced. People need reliability. They need consistency. And no matter how bright your light shines, if they can't count on you, they'll find someone else." In that moment, the truth hit hard. In trying to be seen, the young man had unknowingly made himself dispensable. The old mentor continued, "Think about your life, not just your work. Are there people you take for granted? Friends who always check in, family who's always there, partners who support you without fail? When they're gone, you'll notice their light. But by then, it may be too late. Don't wait until absence makes you realize presence. Also," he added, Don't let yourself be taken for granted by others. But never stop what you're doing just because you don't get instant rewards. Life is not a trade, it's a journey. Find balance, not silence, not noise. Just steady, thoughtful balance. That's where true success lives. The young man sat there, quiet for a long time. He had finally understood the full lesson. Value is not only in shining or stepping away, it is in the integrity of showing up, consistently, with heart and humility. Dear listener, if this story stirred something in your soul, if it reminded you of your own journey, or someone you know who's been quietly carrying the world, please share this video. Let others hear what you've heard. Let's spread light that doesn't burn out. Subscribe to GoldenBellDharma for more stories of wisdom, balance, and inner peace. Leave a comment below. Who is the person in your life whose light you've taken for granted? And remember, true light doesn't need to flicker to be felt. Thank you for watching. Stay steady, stay present, stay blessed.